ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد, inshallah, let's continue with the Quranic diagrammatic overviews, and inshallah today we will be taking Surah Juzz 21, which comprises of part of Surah Al-Ankabut, Surah Rum, Surah Luqman, Surah Sajda, and part of Surah Al-Ahzab. So we are going to be coming in contact now with some surahs which are smaller in their length, you could say. Okay, let's carry on then. Surah Al-Ankabut, just to recap the central theme: the people of Tawheed have to pass through trials and tests, to the extent that one may even have to migrate for the sake of Allah. So that was the central theme. Let's move on to the 7th section, because we took up to the 6th section last session. 7th section, ayat 61 to 68. Then the two subsections, ayat 61 to 65, are focusing on proof for Tawheed. So some proof for Tawheed is being given, and the mushrikeen are being asked to accept the Creator and the one who is the Musakhar, I will explain that, as your Lord and your Hakim, your ruler. Creator, we know, means the one who created everything. Musakhar means the one who has put you in charge of things, or has put things in your under your influence, things that he has put to your service. So to recognize him as your Lord and your ruler, meaning to obey him. So let's take some ayat here, 64 and 65. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما هذه الحياة الدنيا إلا لحم ولعب وإن الدار الآخرة لهي الحيوان لو كانوا يعلمون. And this worldly life is not but diversion and amusement. And indeed the home of the hereafter, that is eternal life, if only they knew. So their Tawheed is within them in this situation. فَإِذَا رَكِبُوا فِي الْفُلْكِ دَعْوُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ إِذَا هُمْ يُشْرِكُونَ. When they board a ship, they supplicate to Allah alone, sincere to Him in their deen. But when He delivers them to the land, so when they are out of this situation where they are vulnerable, they start to associate with Allah again. Yeah? So they are being told, no, you accept Him as Creator, accept Him also as your Hakim, your judge, your ruler. Accept His deen. Do not accept parts and then reject other parts regarding Allah's Tawheed, His oneness. Then there is mentioned in the subsection the ingratitude of the Quraysh despite the blessing of the Haram, the Kaaba. So they were given this big blessing, the Kaaba. So let's take some ayat here. Ayah 67 and 68. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّ جَعَلْنَا حَرَمًا آمِنًا. And have they not seen that we made Makkah a safe sanctuary for them? وَيُتَخَطَّفُ النَّاسُ مِنْ حَوْلِهِمْ. While people are being taken away all around them, meaning outside this sanctuary. أَفَبِالْبَاطِلِ يُؤْمِنُونَ وَبِنِعْمَةِ اللَّهِ يَكْفُرُونَ. So do you then believe in that falsehood while you are disbelieving and you are showing kufr? Kufr here means to be ungrateful for the favor of Allah, that Allah has given you this peace, this tranquility, this place of security. And then what did they do? وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ. And who is more wrong and who does more injustice than the one who invents a lie against Allah? أَوْ كَذَّبَ بِالْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُ. Or when the truth comes, they deny it, they reject it. أَلَيْسَ فِي جَهَنَّمَ مَثْوًى لِلْكَافِرِينَ. So is there not in hell a sufficient residence for the disbelievers? So Allah Ta'ala, He's warning them now. Your association with Allah of these partners. Let's take the last section then of this surah. Section 7. Proof for the Tawheed. Section 8 rather. Promise of help following the migration. So, like we mentioned, this surah, Surah Al-Ankabut, is mentioning the hardship that the believers were going through in Mecca, torture, persecution, etc., to the extent that they then had to leave Mecca, go to Abyssinia, a party of them. So Allah Ta'ala, He is just now mentioning in the last ayah that the people who carry on sticking to the right way, yes, Allah Ta'ala, He guarantees hidayah for them. Yeah. So this is the mantuq. What is mafhum of this ayah then? So the people, Allah Ta'ala is saying, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا, and those who strive for us, لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا, we will surely guide them to our way and our path. Meaning that if you want to be guided, what must you do? Strive in Allah's way. But you cannot strive in Allah's way unless you're guided. Yeah? So you must make the effort. You must make the first step. Don't say Allah didn't guide me. No. You must make the first effort, Allah will then guide. Because Allah Ta'ala, He's promising here, and this is a very, very strong way in the Arabic language, and the word I'm looking for is a lot of emphasis given, and a surety. لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ, I will definitely guide you, Allah Ta'ala is saying. Not just will guide you, definitely. Promise from Allah. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, and verily Allah, He is with the people who do good. He is with everybody. Yeah? إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَنَا. All the time Allah is with everybody, yeah, in His knowledge. But He is with the muhsinin, He is supporting them, helping them, with them. This is what Allah Ta'ala is saying to the believers who are being persecuted. Moving on to the next surah then. That was the end of Surah Al-Ankabut. Surah Ar-Rum. Surah Ar-Rum. Let's take some introductory points regarding these surahs now that are coming. So we will look at Surah Ar-Rum, Luqman, Sajda, and part of Ahzab. Now you need to make a diagram where you have got at least 4 columns. Yeah, 4 columns. And in one column, Rum, next Luqman, Sajda, Ahzab. Because I'm going to tell you now the rabt between the 4 surahs here. Okay? So, Rum, Luqman, Sajda, and Ahzab. I'll let you do that. While you're doing that, I'll talk about the period of revelation. The period of revelation of this surah, Surah Rum, is before the migration to Abyssinia, the hijrah of Habasha. This is approximately 5th year of Nabawi in Makkah. Now this surah, the beginning section of this surah, is quite amazing. It's one of the Ijazul Quran, one of the miracles of the Quran, one of the unique characteristics of the Quran, which shows that it is only from Allah, that it is a prediction. This was a prediction of the end of the Persian Empire, because the Persians were conquering at a very fast rate and they had subdued the Romans. This beginning of this surah is actually suggesting the opposite, that within 8 to 9 years the Romans will overcome the Persians, which was unimaginable at the time. So this is a glad news for these people. And also that the Muslims will be successful, and this is what happened in Badr. Okay? And this happened also within the next 8 to 9 years. Khair. So you hopefully have made the columns, Surah Rum, Luqman, Sajda, and Ahzab. Let's take the links now. In Surah Rum, the first thing you want to write is, Surah Rum dealt with the affirmation of the Akhirah and the Qiyamah and gave proofs. Yes? So Surah Rum, affirmation of Akhirah and Qiyamah. It affirmed it. It proved, gave proofs for this. The link between Surah Rum and Luqman in this area is that in Surah Luqman we will see the affirmation of Tawheed and the rejection of shirk. Okay? Affirmation of Tawheed and rejection of shirk. And shirk will be referred to there as the greatest injustice, dhulmun azim. Okay, now just to stop there for a minute, when you read Quran, I suggest you do this, with these diagrammatic overviews. They have been very, very beneficial for me, alhamdulillah, and that's why I am passionate about this type of procedure to read Quran. Before you read the surah, you should read the period of revelation and the central theme. And if you can see the links in your mind first, or a diagram. You then start to read, you see the first section, for example, and then you read those ayat with that in mind. That's it. You will find something very different to if you just read the whole surah without any of this. Things will start to make more sense to you. You will start to see things more clearly, in a more structured manner, and you will then be able to, inshallah, yourself see the rabt, the links between things, inshallah. Yeah? Khair. Anyway, so moving on to the second link between Rum and Luqman. I'm not going to spend too much time on this now. Surah Rum ends with a part of this ayah, La yuqinun, meaning the people who do not believe in the hereafter. Luqman, the beginning of Surah Luqman, talks about the people who have yaqeen in the hereafter. وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. So Surah Luqman, Surah Rum finishes by saying people who do not have certainty in the hereafter. Surah Luqman starts with people who do have certainty in the hereafter. Okay, up to now that's enough. Then I have got other points that I will make, inshallah, once we have reached Luqman, because I then have links between Luqman and Sajda, and then Sajda to Ahzab. So inshallah, let's take Surah Rum now. So the central theme, glad tidings of the victory of Badr, proofs for the hereafter, and glad tidings of the success in this life and the hereafter. Okay, so let's take some ayat now. Ayat 1 to 7, as we mentioned. Let's take some of these ayat. Alif Lam Mim Ghulibatir Rum في أدنى الأرض وهم من بعد غلبهم سيغلبون في بضع سنين لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد ويومئذ يفرح المؤمنون بنصر الله ينصر من يشاء وهو العزيز الرحيم وعد الله لا يخلف الله وعده ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. So hopefully you have been following the translation, or not? Yeah, do I need to go over it? Okay. So this is saying that the Byzantines have been, the Romans, they have been defeated, but in the nearest land, but they, after the defeat, they will overcome the Persians within 3 to 9 years. To Allah belongs the command before and after. And that day the believers will rejoice in this, because this will be an affirmation of the Quran is saying this, yeah? And the Quran told you so before. And they will rejoice, and they did. They will rejoice regarding the victory of Allah, and Allah gives victory to whom He wills, and He is exalted in might, the merciful. Meaning you will also get victory in Badr. Wa'd Allah, this is the promise from Allah. Allah, He does not break His promise. But most people don't know. You know who this is alluding to? Maybe the Muslims, like us weak Muslims. We don't believe in the promise of Allah. We start to doubt, will the victory come? There's no sign of victory, nothing happening. Because if we had that certainty, we would work for it. Yeah? You know, when you work for something, you have some expectation that it will lead you to some success. Yeah, that's why you work for it. Otherwise, you wouldn't. It's a realistic goal. That's why you go for it. Yeah. But if you know the goal that you are working for is 100%, you will get it. How would you work for it? You'd go for it, because you know it's just waiting for me. This is how we need to believe in Allah's promise. Allah, He is promising. Not anybody. Subhanallah. Khair. Moving on to the second section. Proofs for the akhirah are now being given to the People who doubt the akhirah. Okay, let's have a look at some proofs. Ayah 8. أَوَلَمْ يَتَفَكَّرُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ. Do you not contemplate within yourselves? Yeah, look at yourself. You as a complete creature of Allah. ما خلق الله السماوات والأرض وما بينهما إلا بالحق وأجل مسمى وإن كثيرا من الناس بلقاء ربهم لكافرون. Allah Ta'ala, He has not created the heavens and the earth and whatever is within or in between them except with purpose and for a specific time frame. But most people, they do not believe in the meeting of Allah, meaning the hereafter. And then a historic. So here was a sign in yourself, a sign in the creation, and now a sign from history is coming. So all the signs we are looking at nearly. أَوَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Do they not go and travel the land? فَيَنْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. So they could see the end result of those people before them. كَانُوا أَشَدَّ مِنْهُمْ قُوَّةً وَآثَارُوا الْأَرْضِ وَأَمَرُوهَا أَكْثَرَ مِمَّا أَمَرُوهَا وَجَاءَتْهُمْ رُسُلُهُم بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. They were greater than them in power, and they plowed or excavated the land, the earth, and built it up more than they, meaning the Meccan period, have built up. And their messages came to them with their clear evidences. فَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيَظْلِمَهُمْ وَلَكِنْ كَانُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. Allah didn't do any zulm on them, they did zulm on their own selves. Yeah, they did shirk with Allah, they wronged their own selves, hence they were punished. Okay, let's move on. Ayat 14 to 16. Again about the hereafter, proofs to give them. You see, the proof of the hereafter is in the person himself already. So Allah doesn't go down some logical reasoning, yeah? Yeah, Allah Ta'ala tells the person, this is in you. Accountability is in you, inbuilt. You know what's good, you know what's bad. You feel good when you do good, you feel bad when you do bad. Hence there must be an outcome. That's it, simple. There's no other no explanation needed. The fitrah itself speaks this. وَيَوْمَ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةُ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَفَرَّقُونَ. And the day the hour appears, that day they will become separated. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَهُمْ فِي رَوْضَةٍ يُحْبَرُونَ. So, two groups, people of Iman and good actions, they will be in gardens of delight. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا وَلِقَاءِ الْآخِرَةِ. So the people who believed in what? They disbelieved. أَمَّا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, they disbelieved and they denied my ayat, my signs. Remember all the signs we talked about? Quran, yourself, creation, history. And they disbelieved in the meeting, yeah, in the hereafter. فَأُولَٰئِكَ فِي الْعَذَابِ الْمُحْضَرُونَ. And they will be brought into the punishment to remain in there. أعوذ بالله من ذلك. And then another proof. يُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. Allah Ta'ala, He creates living out of the dead and the dead out of the living. And He brings to life the earth after it has died. وَكَذَلِكَ تُخْرَجُونَ. Just like that, you will be brought back. You'll be brought back. Don't think it's far-fetched. Just like that cycle, you will come back. Just like the dead earth comes back. Some other proofs given here. Ayah 25 to 27. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَن تَقُومَ السَّمَاءُ وَالْأَرْضُ بِأَمْرِهِ ثُمَّ إِذَا دَعَاكُمْ دَعْوَةً مِنَ الْأَرْضِ إِذَا أَنْتُمْ تَخْرُجُونَ. And of His signs is that the heaven and the earth stand, meaning they remain by His command. Then when He calls you with a single call from the earth, immediately you will come forth on the Day of Judgment. وَلَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ كُلٌّ لَهُ قَانِتُونَ. All are going to be devoutly obedient to Him. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُهُ وَهُوَ أَهْوَنُ عَلَيْهِ. And He it is who begins creation and He will repeat it. And this is easy for Allah. وَلَهُ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. To Him belongs the highest and the biggest example, meaning Allah, He is the highest. Yeah, you can't give example of Allah, He is the highest. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ, He is Aziz, all able, mighty, Hakim, perfectly wisdom. Yeah, perfect wisdom of Allah, perfectly wise in all His attributes. He is perfect. Third section is talking about more proofs of Tawheed. We will leave that for you to read, 28 and 29. Let's take the fourth section, guidance for the Muslims. Ayahs 30. Let's take ayah 30 first of all. This is talking about fitrah. Fitrah is a very, very important concept that we need to remind ourselves about, because we have fitrah already, so it's nothing new. Yeah. فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا, so direct your face towards the religion inclining to truth. فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا, adhere to the fitrah of Allah upon which He has created all people. لا تبديل لخلق الله, you will find no change in the creation of Allah. ذَلِكُ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ, this is the straight, upright way. وَلَكِنْ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but unfortunately most people, they do not know. Now fitrah is your natural disposition. Yeah, naturally. I call it factory settings. Yeah, easy. Factory settings. What you come with naturally. Yeah, before anything is tampered with you. You know, when you open your product, your phone, your tablet, seal, yeah? Factory settings. Just right. Every human being comes with this fitrah. In this fitrah, it gives us the natural inclination to recognize and to worship Allah. Naturally. It's in us, inbuilt. Naturally know vaguely good and bad. Inbuilt. Don't need to be taught this. This is your fitrah. Allah Ta'ala is saying, your fitrah, you need to take care of it. Khair, moving on. Some other guidance given here. And let's take ayah 38 and 39. So, guidance for the Muslim. فَآتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَ حَقَّهُ وَالْمِسْكِينَ وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ, so give the relative his right, as well as the needy and the traveller. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ, this is better for people who are looking forward to seeing Allah. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ, they will be successful. وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن رِّبًا لِيَرْبُوا فِي أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ فَلَا يَرْبُوا عِندَ اللَّهِ, and whatever you give for interest to increase within the wealth of people will not increase with Allah. Yeah? What increases with Allah? Yurbis sadaqat, Quran says. Yamhaqullahu riba. Allah Ta'ala, He decreases riba, although apparently interest increases, yeah? But in Allah's sight, in the hereafter, it is decreasing. But sadaqah, apparently it is your bank account going down, yeah? But in Allah Ta'ala's eye, in the hereafter, it's going up. وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن زَكَاةٍ تُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُضْعَفُونَ, and it says here as well. But what you give in zakah, desiring the countenance of Allah, those are the multipliers, those are the things that will increase for you in the hereafter. And this guidance has been given obviously for the communal thing, but also to make sure that people are giving, because the struggle is coming. The struggle is coming soon to the believers. Okay, fifth section, challenge the mushrikeen. Challenge to the mushrikeen regarding creation, rizq, death and life. Take ayah 40. Allahu alladhi khalaqakum thumma razaqakum thumma yumitukum thumma yuhyikum. Allah is the one who created you. He gives you rizq. He will give you death. He will then give you life. Hal min shurakaikum man yaf'alu min dhalikum min shay. Are there any of your associates that can do that? Can they do that? Anyone? Name us, show us. Who can do that other than Allah? Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yushrikun. Allah, He is above, at a status above, and is higher than what you associate with Him. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. And Allah Ta'ala is telling us His sunnah. What happens? Fasad, mischief, corruption on the land has occurred because of what man has earned. Don't blame Allah. People blame Allah for everything. Especially people who don't believe in Allah, they blame Allah for everything. They say, if there's a God, then you don't believe in God, why are you bringing God into an equation? God doesn't exist for you. Why are you bringing God into the equation? Yeah? That itself is showing them that in their fitrah they know, but they don't understand. They couldn't figure it out. مَا قَدْرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ. We need to help people to understand that. So, because of what man has earned, this mischief has been spread on the land, and Allah Ta'ala is telling us this mischief, when it occurs, Allah Ta'ala makes one group of people, yeah, you could say suffer at the hands of others, but also as a result of suffering, this will let people come back to Allah. This will cause people to think about Allah and go back to Allah, because they will see their faults, that they have been the cause of the fasad in ard. And this ummah, its duty is to restore the balance on the earth, from fasad to balance. Moving on. They have been now commanded, this is the next section, section 6, yeah? This is a command from Allah to the mushrikeen. فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ الْقَيِّمِ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ يَوْمٌ لَا مَرَدَّ لَهُ مِنَ اللَّهِ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَصَّدَّعُونَ. So direct your face. Now Allah Ta'ala is saying you have to now do this towards the correct religion before a day comes from Allah of which there is no repelling. You will not be able to repel it. That day they will be divided into the people of paradise and into the people of hellfire. So Allah is now telling them you must do this or face the consequence. Some more proofs for Tawheed and Akhirah given here. I will just name them for section 6. The winds have been mentioned here. Allah Ta'ala also talks about His help comes to the people who deserve the help. And we just take, let's look at ayah 50 here. So observe the effects of the mercy of Allah, how He gives life to the earth after its lifelessness. Indeed, the same one will give life to the dead, and He is all over things competent. And then Allah Ta'ala is telling him, the Prophet ﷺ, especially and the believers, فَإِنَّكَ لَا تُسْمِعُ الْمَوْتَى وَلَا تُسْمِعُ الصُّمَّ الدُّعَاءَ إِذَا وَلَّوْا مُدْبِرِينَ. Indeed, you will not make the dead hear, nor will you make the deaf hear the call when they turn their backs retreating. Meaning you can only guide them, you cannot compel them. The last section before we move on to the next surah. Section 8, glad tidings and proofs for recompense. Let's see these few ayat, 54. Allah is the one who created you from weakness, then made after weakness strength, then made after weakness strength and white hair. He creates what He wills, and He is the knowing, the competent. And the day the hour appears, the criminals will swear they had remained but an hour, just an hour. مَا لَبِثُوا غَيْرَ سَاعَةٍ. Thus they were deluded. But those who were given knowledge and faith will say, you remain the extent of Allah's decree until the day of resurrection, and this is the day of resurrection, but you did not used to know about this. So that day their excuse will not benefit those who wronged, nor will they be asked to appease Allah. And we have certainly presented to the people in this Quran from every kind of example. But Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you should bring them a sign, that the disbelievers will surely say, you are just falsifiers. Yeah, you are just making it up. And this is how Allah Ta'ala says He sees the hearts of those who do not know. So what you need to do, O believers, fasbir. Many surahs you've seen, huh? Fasbir, Allah Ta'ala says at the end, fasbir. Remain steadfast. And you remember the 3 types of sabr, yeah? Verily the promise of Allah is true. وَلَا يَسْتَخِفَنَّكَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. Subhanallah, beautiful part of the ayah. and let not them, I don't know what this word disquiet means, you who are not certain in faith. يَسْتَخِفَنَّكَ means do not let them make you fear them. Do not let them make you think you are less than them. Do not be undermined by the people who don't have yaqeen in the hereafter. This is how we need to see the reality of life. How can a person who believes in the hereafter with yaqeen think himself less than a person who doesn't have any yaqeen in the hereafter? Or be bullied by somebody who doesn't have yaqeen in the hereafter? Because at the end of the day, the person who knows about the hereafter, he knows that this person who doesn't believe in the hereafter and he's oppressing me, he will be in the hellfire unless he repents. So then the believers, especially for the believers who are being persecuted, they should never ever think of themselves anything less than the people who are oppressing them. Moving on then to the next surah, Surah Luqman, beautiful surah. Surah Luqman. Luqman was a wise person, and most people say he was not a prophet, but he was a very wise person. Allah knows best. And if it was of benefit, it would have been disclosed to us who he was or what he was. So we don't need to go into things like that. Yeah? Khair. Okay. Surah Luqman then. Period of revelation again, before the migration to Abyssinia. 5th of Nawawi. Guidance to the new Muslim reverts, especially the youth, on how to treat their parents. There is a guidance here from Luqman. And there is beautiful guidance in here in the advice that Luqman gave to his son. Okay, central theme. The greatest wisdom is the feeling of shukr, to appreciate Allah. This is the greatest wisdom. And this surah will talk about that briefly. This leads to tawheed, because you see what is shukr? Shukr is to look at what you have that benefits you and then thank the benefactor, the one who has given you this. Yeah? Okay, now, if somebody gives you something, let's say they give you a present, or they buy you something, they buy you a bike, yeah, let's say. And before that you have to walk to school or you have to walk to college or work. You would thank the person giving you that bike, yeah? You would say thank you. Or you might buy them something in return. You will try to benefit them the way they benefit you, yes? You will try to return the favor. But to Allah, you cannot return the favor. So the way you return the favor, or you try to, is by submitting to Him. That's it. It makes sense. Yeah? Because we cannot repay Allah. So we thank Allah by following what He says. This is shukr. This leads to tawheed, and tawheed is justice and shirk is injustice or injustice. Proofs for tawheed have been given. Let's take some ayat now. First part, ayat 1 to 9. The speech of the Al-Hakim is all full of wisdom. Allah's name, Al-Hakim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. Tilka ayatul kitab al-Hakim. Hudan wa rahmatan lil muhsinin. I will not read the translation, yeah? You follow. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون. We mentioned يوقنون in the beginning of Luqman and لا يوقنون in the end of Surah Rum. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. But ayah 6 is the opposite of these people. ومن الناس من يشتري لحو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله بغير علم ويتخذه هزوا أولئك لهم عذاب مهين. But the people who buy the amusement of speech. Now the tafsir mentions this is singing, music, singing, amusement, etc. Lahu al-hadith. Lahu is something that is unnecessary, yeah? Not needed, futile. This speech. لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And they would do this to misguide people from Allah's way. So as a distraction. Yeah? So they would hire singers, for example, to distract people from listening to Quran, as an example, yeah, etc. And they would mock it. Allah Ta'ala is saying for them there is a humiliating adhab. Okay. Let's take the second section. The second section is talking about, this is ayahs 10 to 13, 10 to 11. It is unjust to not accept Allah as the creator and sustainer alone. This, Allah Ta'ala, it is unjust. Let's take the ayat 10 to 11. خلق السماوات بغير عمد ترونها. Allah Ta'ala, He creates the heavens without the pillars. You cannot see any pillars. وَأَلْقَى فِي الْأَرْضِ رَوَاسِيَ. And He has cast into the earth mountains firm. أَن تَمِيدَ بِكُمْ وَبَثَّ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ دَابَّةٍ. And He dispersed therein from every creature. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً فَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ زَوْجٍ كَرِيمٍ. And He sends down the rain from the sky and made grow therein plants of every noble kind. هَذَا خَلْقُ اللَّهِ. Allah Ta'ala saying, this is the creation of Allah. فَأَرُونِي مَاذَا خَلَقَ الَّذِينَ مِن دُونِي. So then show me the others that you associate with Allah. Where is their creation? What did they create? بَلِ الظَّالِمُونَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. But this people who do this zulm, they associate partners with Allah, they are in a far away misguidance which has taken them far, far, far away. Now, next ayat from 12 to 19. This section is a beautiful section on the advice of Luqman, the wise, to his son, who was a teenager, most probably, Allahu Alam, but it seems like that. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ وَمَنْ يَشْكُرْ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. And we had certainly given Luqman wisdom and said, be grateful to Allah. So we mentioned, the greatest wisdom is to be grateful to Allah. And whoever is grateful for the benefit of himself, and whoever denies His favor, then indeed Allah is free of need and praiseworthy. Allah doesn't need anybody's favor. وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ. And remember when Luqman was advising his son, and he said, يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ. Oh my dear son, do not associate partners with Allah. So this is the first piece of advice to his son. Number one, if you're making a list, First advice, do not associate partners. إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. Shirk is the greatest injustice. Because the Sahaba once were told that dhulm will not be forgiven. And they said, we do zulm sometimes. We do that. Then Allah Ta'ala, through the Prophet ﷺ, told them, Inna shirka la dhulmun azim. Dhulm meant shirk, misplacing Allah Ta'ala's position. So that's the first advice. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَحْنًا عَلَى وَحْنٍ وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيْكَ إِلَيَّ الْمَصِيرُ. And Allah Ta'ala says, we have enjoined upon man care for his parents. His mother carried him in weakness upon weakness, and his weaning is in 2 years. So be grateful to me and to your parents. To me is the final destination. But now advice for those people who became Muslim but their parents had not. وَإِنْ جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. And if they endeavor, if they, you could say, struggle against you, to strive against you, to make shirk with Allah, مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ, they don't have knowledge of, فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا, then you cannot follow them, obey them. But وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا, but be with them as a good companion in this life. Meaning, do not disrespect them. You don't follow them in shirk, but you have respect for them. وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيّْ, and do not follow them, but follow the way of those people who have turned towards me. ثُمَّ إِلَيَّ مَرْجِعُكُمْ فَأُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, because you will come back to me and I will tell you what you did. And next advice, يَا بُنَيَّ إِنْ تَكُ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ فَتَكُنْ فِي صَخْرَةٍ أَوْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ أَوْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يَأْتِ بِهَا اللَّهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَطِيفٌ خَبِيرٌ. O my son, indeed, if a wrong should be the weight of a mustard seed and should be within a rock or anywhere in the heavens or anywhere in the earth, Allah will bring it forth. Meaning you can't hide from Allah. So this is advice. Be mindful of Allah, He's always watching. He will bring it all forward. Allah is subtle and aware. More advice. Ya bunayya, oh my son, aqimis salat, establish the prayer. Wa'mur bil ma'roof, and enjoin good. Wanha anil munkar, and stop from evil, forbid evil. Wasbir ala ma asabak, and then remain steadfast on whatever comes your way in opposition as a result. Yes? Because when you speak the truth, in Arabic, al-haqqu murrun, the truth is bitter. And when you speak the truth, like the prophets and messengers did, you will have opposition. You need to then remain steadfast. Inna dhalika min azmil umur. This is from the matters of great resolve. This is real strength. Next advice. وَلَا تُسَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ. Do not turn your cheek in contempt towards people, meaning do not be rude. وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا. And do not walk through the earth, with pride. Don't show that you are something when you are walking. Inna Allah la yuhibbu kulla muqtalin fakhur. Allah does not like every self-deluded, boastful person. Waqsid fi mashik, and be moderate in your pace of your walk, when you walk. Waghdud min sawtik, and in your voice, do not be too loud. And do not be, of such a voice that nobody can hear you. Inna ankara al-aswati la sawtul hamir. The worst voice to Allah is the braying of the donkey. Meaning, do not be too loud. And I always have to say this to our youth. Don't think that when you're together in a group that you have to now show that you're something by being loud. No, you're being a donkey by being loud. So you want to be a donkey, or you want to be a human being? Don't think we are something special if we're loud. No. Loudness is not the characteristic of the believer. Unless you're giving adhan, that's a different story. Khair. Okay. Let's move on then, inshallah. We've covered the ayat 14 to 19 there. Let's take the fourth section. 20 to 24, the proof for shirk is baseless forefather worship. Basically what they're saying in this section is that what you are following, shirk, is just what your forefathers did, and there's no basis for this. It's as simple as that. No need to elaborate on that because this is self-evident. Next section, 25 to 27. Oh, you believe in Allah as creator, accept Him as the only one to be worshipped. Not just the creator, worship Him by following His instructions given in this Quran and through the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Next one, 28 to 29. The power of Allah as a proof for the Akhirah. Let's take these few ayat, 27 and 28. The proof of the Akhirah by looking at who Allah is. وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ أَقْلَامٌ وَالْبَحْرُ يَمُدُّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ. And if, Allah Ta'ala is giving an example, if all the trees and the were pens and all the seas were ink, and you had 7 more, they would not be able to write the kalimat of Allah, the commands of Allah, the words of Allah. Allah is, Inna Allah Azizun Hakim, He is so mighty, He is so wise. مَا خَلْقُكُمْ وَلَا بَعْثُكُمْ إِلَّا كَنَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. Your creation and your resurrection will not be but as that of a single soul. Meaning to Allah it's nothing. To you it's, how will it be? Because you yourself, you are limited in your sense. You don't know. To Allah it's just like whether He created 1 or He created 1 billion, same. No difference to Allah. Inna Allah Sami'un Basir. Allah Ta'ala, He is seeing, Sami, hears, and He is seeing you, Basir. Okay, moving on to the next section. It refutes their shirk in ayah 30. That is because Allah is the truth, and that which they call upon other than Him is falsehood, and because Allah is the Most High, the Grand, because they have no proof for what they are calling towards. Ayah 32, Tawheed is in line with our nature. I'm not going to read that now. This is ayah 32. And ayah 33 is talking about Iblis. He is calling you to worship what your forefathers used to worship. This is what he does. Let's just take this ayah and then the last ayah. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا. O mankind, fear your Lord and a day when no father will avail his son, nor will a son avail his father, meaning father son can be of no help to each other. Inna wa'dallahi haqq, verily the promise of Allah is true. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا يَغَرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورُ. So do not let this worldly life deceive you, delude you, that this is the only life. And don't let the shaitan, the deceiver, deceive you to make you think that make the most of this only one chance you get. Make the most of it. Yeah, you only live once. You're right, you only live once. You don't have a second chance. So you make the most of your life by doing what's right. And then 5, make a note of this inshallah, 5 things that only Allah has knowledge of. Inna Allah indahu ilmu sa'ah, only Allah, with him is the knowledge of the hour, meaning when will the day of judgment be. وَيُنَزِّلُ غَيْثَ, and where he will send the rain. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْأَرْحَامِ, and only he knows what is in the wombs, meaning the person in the womb. Who will he be? Good, bad, yeah, Muslim, not Muslim, etc., etc., yeah, what he will do, etc. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا, and only Allah knows what a person will do tomorrow. You don't know what you will do tomorrow, Allah knows. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ, and only Allah knows which earth or which part of the globe or earth you will die in. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ خَبِيرٌ, Allah Ta'ala, He is all knowing, He is all aware. So these 5 things, the hour, the rain where it falls, the wombs, what they hold, the actions that you will do tomorrow, and your place of death is only known to Allah. If anybody else comes to tell you this, he is Dajjal, if you know what I mean. Yeah? He doesn't know. No palm reader can tell you, yeah? Okay? SubhanAllah. Okay, moving on to the last section of the the next surah, Sajda. Surah to Sajda. Let's look at the overview diagram first. Bismillah. This surah revealed in the between the 4th and the 5th year of Hijri, after the oppression of the believers had not yet started actually. Yeah, the oppression of the believers had not yet started. An invitation to the Quraysh intellectuals to reflect on the characteristics of the mu'min. So some characteristics given here. There is in the collection of Sahih Muslim a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ, he would recite in the Jummah Fajr prayer on Friday, Sajda, Surah Sajda, this surah, and Surah Ad-Dahr. Khair. Central theme. Let's look at the link. If we look at the link first for this, between Surah Luqman and this surah, some characteristics were given of the mu'min in Luqman's advice, yeah? Now in Surah Sajda, Allah Ta'ala is telling us the difference between the mu'min and the fasiq, the wrongdoer, and giving us some characteristics of the mu'min. Central theme, reflect on the Quranic proofs and believe in Allah and the Akhirah. The consequence of the mu'min and the fasiq will differ. O Muslims, remain patient and steadfast during hardship, you will be successful. Bi-idhnillah. First section, ayat 1 to 6. The subsection, ayat 1 to 3. Introduction to the Quran, it is to warn, it is not invented. So it is here to warn you, it is not an invention. So take the lesson. Then introduction to Allah, He who is the creator, the helper, the intercessor, and the mudabbir, the one who is running everything with His will and with His plan. We take that, just read that ayat 5th and 6th ayat. يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ ثُمَّ يَعْرُجُ إِلَيْهِ فِي يَوْمٍ كَانَ مِقْدَارُهُ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ مِمَّا تَعُدُّونَ ذَلِكَ عَلِمُ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ الْعَزِيزُ الرَّحِيمُ. And He arranges every matter from the heaven to the earth, then it will ascend to Him in a day, the extent of which is 1,000 years of those which you count. This is talking about the hisab that goes to Allah, etc. Yeah? No time to go into that right now. Allah is the knower of the unseen and the witnessed, the exalted in might, the merciful. Okay, moving on to the next section. Some proofs for the akhirah given in oneself, and proofs in the nature, and proofs in nature that show us the power of Allah. So let's have a look at this, ayah 7 to 9. الذي أحسن كل شيء خلقه, who perfected everything which he created. وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين, he created the man, began the creation with clay. ثم جعل نسله من سلالة من ماء مهين, then he made his posterity out of the extract, meaning his nasl, who comes after them, extract of a liquid disdained, meaning the sperm. ثم سواه ونفخ فيه من روحه وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Then he proportioned him and breathed into him from his created soul, and made for you hearing and vision and hearts, but little are you grateful for these things. These things were meant to recognize Allah and worship Allah, but you do not even recognize Him, let alone worship Him. And then some proofs in nature and the power of Allah, given in ayahs 12 to 14. We will skip that and we will move on inshallah to the next section. Section 3, belief in the Quran and rejecting it. So you believe in it or you reject it. So two qualities being given here. Qualities of the believers and their reward, and the traits of the fasiqeen, the wrongdoers, and their punishment. Let's take these ayat 15 to 18. Let's start from 16. So these are some of the qualities of the believers. تَتَجَافَى جُنُوبُهُمْ عَنِ الْمَضَاجِعِ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. So they forsake their beds at the night, and they are making dua to Allah in fear and in hope, and they spend from what Allah has given to them. So two characteristics there. فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And no soul knows what has been hidden for them of comfort of the eyes as reward for what they used to do. As the Prophet ﷺ said, Jannah, no eye has seen it, no ear has heard of it, and nothing of its kind has ever come to the heart of the man. Meaning is unimaginable, the Jannah. This is the beautiful, subhanAllah, this ayah really pivotal. أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا لَا يَسْتَوُونَ. Then is the one who was a believer like the one who defiantly disobedient? Are they the same? Allah Ta'ala is saying. On the Day of Judgment, they should be the same? They should go to the same place? No. Mu'min should go to Jannah, the fasiq should be punished for his fisq. So then some characteristics of the people of fisq. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا فَمَأْوَاهُمْ نَارٌ. For the people who are disobedient, their place is hellfire. كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا أَن يَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا أُعِيدُوا فِيهَا وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ ذُوقُوا عَذَابَ النَّارِ الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ. They will try to come out of the hellfire, but they will be pushed back in, and it will be said to them, ذُوقُوا, taste the punishment which you used to deny. You used to deny this, taste it more. وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُم مِّنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. And we will surely let them taste their nearer punishment, meaning in this world, short of the greater punishment that perhaps they will return. So any punishment in this life is actually a blessing, because it will make a person repent and come back to the way and be saved from the hereafter's punishment, which is much, much severe and everlasting. Next section, proofs for recompense. So there are some historic proofs, and there are some proofs of the sustenance by Allah. Ayahs 26 and 27. Let's just take the English, 26 and 27. Has it not become clear to them how many generations we destroyed before them, as they walk among their dwellings? Indeed, in that are signs, for they do not hear. Meaning that Allah, He judges and He gives punishment, even in this life, to the previous nations. Have they not seen that we drive water in clouds to barren land and bring forth thereby crops from which their livestock eat, and they themselves, they do not then see? Meaning that this is how Allah will bring you back. You see it, but you don't want to accept it. And the last section of this surah is the section 5, advice to the oppressed Muslims to pardon and remain steadfast. Let's take these ayat 28 onwards. وَيَقُولُونَ مَتَى هَذَا الْفَتْحُ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. And they say, when will be this conquest if you should be truthful? Yeah, so when will this happen? قُلْ يَوْمَ الْفَتْحِ لَا يَنْفَعُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِيمَانُهُمْ وَلَا هُمْ يُنْذَرُونَ. Say on the day when this comes, the iman on that day will be of no benefit for you, and you will be given no time or any respite. So what should the believers do now? فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ. So now you turn away from them. You have given them the message, you let them think about it, turn away. وَانْتَظِرْ. And then you wait. إِنَّهُمْ مُنْتَظِرُونَ. And they are also waiting for the judgment. Let's see if we can take part of Ahzab. We can maybe introduce Surah Al-Ahzab, inshallah, in the time we have got. Surah Al-Ahzab is, now we are going into a Madani surah straight away. Yeah, there is a link that I will inshallah cover in the next session. The central theme, before we go into that, let's just know what Ahzab is. Ahzab is the plural of Hizb. Hizb is a group. Ahzab refers to those confederates that came together to attack Medina, and we know this as the Battle of the Trench. Khandaq, or Ghazwatul Khandaq, or Ghazwa Ahzab. And all of the mushrikeen and the different tribes, the people of the book as well, some of them, tribes from them, they all got together and they decided that we will go and we will crush Medina once and for all, because Badr has finished, Uhud has passed. Now they want to do one last wipeout. So they all got together, they came. When the news came to the Prophet ﷺ, he made mashwara, counsel, and Salman al-Farisi, he suggested that we should dig a trench around Medina. Now this was no joke. It wasn't sandcastle. Yeah? This was a trench. It has to be deep, has to be wide. And the circumstances was such that the Sahaba, no food, or not enough food, because they are now going to be under siege. Very cold. And the ground is solid, not soil, solid. So they have to now dig this deep trench, and they did it. Subhanallah. And they made the trench. Allahu Akbar. And the Prophet ﷺ, he himself, he was part of this whole mission. It just so happened that this was a very big test for the believers, and it shook the believers, as it would say in the surah. But then the plotting of the believers to create dissension in the confederates, and Allah Ta'ala's help, because they laid siege around Medina for how long, do you know? 1 month, 30 days, yeah, approximately. Allah Ta'ala, he then sent a very strong wind, yes, and this uprooted their supplies, their camps, and their motivation, yeah, and they then, Abu Sufyan then said, let's leave, and they left. So no real fighting took place. A few skirmishes occurred, one of them very famous between Ali radiallahu anhu and Abdul Wad, his name, I can't remember exactly. He was one of the old, strong wrestlers, etc. And he said to Ali, I don't want to kill you. He says, and Ali says, I want to kill you. And Ali radiallahu anhu, he sent him to his resting place or testing place, however you want to see it. Subhanallah. Khair. That's the Surah Al-Ahzab. We're not going to start that now, inshallah. We will start that tomorrow. Let's just take the central theme so that we have an idea of what we're going to be looking at tomorrow, inshallah. The central theme is understand the responsibility of being given an amana. Act upon the family, social, communal, defense, political and other systems with sincerity, leaving nifaq and kufr. So act upon all of these things and leave kufr and nifaq, and inshallah as a result you will be successful, as this shows from history. Khair, with that inshallah we come to the end of today's session. We will take next session Ahzab, Sabah, Fatir, And inshallah, the next juz, whatever ayat or surah in the next juz, we ask Allah Ta'ala to guide us to accept this effort from all of us, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وجزاكم الله خيرا.